Most often people will come in to my control room and say, wow, this is the best seat in the house. And that's my goal, is to make it that without it sounding artificial. I'm Larry Rock, and I am the audio director of the New York Philharmonic. As such, I record all of the concerts, and I also do live sound. My concept has always been to create an embellished sense of reality. No concert hall is perfect, and no seat is perfect in a given concert hall. When the Schoeps Colette series first came out in the early 70s, the whole line was drawn upon to provide the discrete miking for television. The need to have microphones that did not get in the way of the video cameras was very important. Coming out with the Colette cables enabled the engineers to hang mics that sounded every bit as good, but were very small. And it was revolutionary. At the radio station where I worked in Chicago, we obtained Schoeps mics. We used them for the radio broadcasts, the outdoor music festivals, as well as Orchestra Hall in Chicago. I always point to the three tenors as being a benchmark. It was a big road show and a big orchestra playing in stadiums, many Schoeps mics, including the ones on the singers. If anybody has any question about what the Schoeps Colettes are, I say the three tenors mics. I learned my craft using Schoeps mics in various locations, including in Milwaukee and Philadelphia, Indianapolis, and New York, ultimately. And I have been using Schoeps mics through the various releases of new capsules, the MK4, of course, the Cardioids, and the MK2 and the MK2S, which I dearly love, and then the newer ones, the MK22. As people know, I feel very strongly about it, that it is a wonderful, versatile microphone capsule. You can use it in almost any situation. There's a concept of sound, of having the balance, of course, the amount of presence, and a sense of ambience. So what is very important is the off-axis response of microphones, because that's where you pick up all of the subtleties of the ambience of the room. Of course, condenser mics have long been the quietest, cleanest microphones. They inherently have a peak and then roll off, and they're kind of known for being maybe a little on the bright side. But Schoeps is a company that has worked out to make condenser mics sound warm, is the word that is always used. The holy grail, as it were, of instruments to record is stringed instruments, the violin especially. And getting a sound that's warm and clear, that's not at all harsh in the high end, that's the objective. And the Schoeps mics, everyone agrees they are the best. If you see on television, especially any kind of video recording, the Berlin Concert Hall series, many Schoeps mics. There's no question that the Schoeps in general, and specifically the Colette series, is a standard of the industry. What else can you say, right? The recordings we do with the New York Philharmonic are of the live performances, the actual concert performances. It all gets archived. We do a live mix, and they can be remixed. And I, in fact, have done an entire set of Mahler symphonies with Lorin Maazel that we went back and produced it all for a release. Having the consistent quality of the microphones, it makes the job that much easier. It's a combination of archival recording, live broadcasting, which is now streaming, and then future projects. Besides making the recordings of concerts in the hall, we play a series of concerts outdoors in the New York parks. And we use 32 Schoeps mics mostly MK4s, some MK22s, and put that mix out into a very large sound system. And again, having that many mics of that quality, it sounds wonderful, it sounds marvelous. You don't want to put 32 mics out that don't cooperate. The microphones that are used for that, as many of the ones we have, are 40 years old, and they still work just fine. Another aspect of our recent history is that our concert hall, which is David Geffen Hall at Lincoln Center, was recently renovated, over a $500 million renovation. In addition to the New York Philharmonic having their Schoeps mics, Lincoln Center has purchased a whole set of Schoeps mics for the house. It's a venue in which we can utilize all that we have and experiment and in mic placement, and it's always very interesting working in a new hall. Having the right tools is what it is called for. The latest thing that we have purchased are the CMC ones, which are very small, and with a CMC one and a right angle connector and a discrete stand, and it happens to blend in perfectly with the new music stands that we have because they're black and red. It's marvelous, and they're wonderful sounding. We just need to get more of them. Right now, the New York Philharmonic is eagerly anticipating the arrival of our new music director, Gustavo Dudamel, who will be starting in September 2026. There will be much media interest and many captures, and I am sure that we will be very busy with video and audio, and very much looking forward to it. Another hallmark of Schoeps is their service. Any kind of repairs, mechanical problems from somebody dropping it or something, the service it's quick, it's reasonable, and they make a new mic out of it for you. Again, it's like none other with the service, and it's very much appreciated by those of us in the industry. In addition, it just so happens that Schoeps happen to be extremely durable. They get knocked around and they just keep working. It's great to know that when you open your locker that the mics will work.